Good day everyone. Today we'll be having a closer look at the highlights of Final Fantasy XIV's newest content patch, The Legend Returns, what goodies and changes it brings to players, and where to find and partake in the newest additions. To start things off, players who had previously completed their main scenario quest up to patch 4.0 may now continue the story by speaking to Lise in Rhalgr's Reach. By progressing through the quests, players will unlock a new expert level dungeon, the Drowned City of Scala. Those looking to access the updated expert roulette will be required to reach an item level of 300 and clear the new dungeon. Upon completion of the new story quests, Monago becomes available as a new custom delivery client for crafters. While she may only accept 6 deliveries per week, the total amount of deliveries has been doubled for players who wish to continue working with Zoe without running out of weekly allowances. The second most enticing addition to the game is the new extreme primal, Shinryu's Domain, which can be unlocked by speaking to the Wandering Minstrel in Kugane. Players familiar with the Royal Menagerie will be pitted against a far more deadly version of Shinryu, with all new mechanics and phases. Those confident enough to challenge it will be rewarded with item level 335 weapons, crafting materials, and a chance at Shinryu's own mount. Patch 4.1 also introduces Stormblood's first 24-man raid, namely the Royal City of Rabanastre, the first part of Final Fantasy XIV's Return to Ivalice. Boasting visually impressive themes and 4 unique bosses with their own extensive set of mechanics, the new raid should be among the first things you do in the new patch. Upon successful completion, players will be rewarded with a weekly token that can be exchanged for upgrade materials to augment lost Allagan equipment, previously only obtainable from Omega Savage 3. In addition, the new Mythic Clan Mark log, purchased with Centurio seals, can also be exchanged for these upgrade materials in the same fashion. The new patch also finally introduces Shirogane, Kugane's own Far Eastern themed housing area, and with it, a plethora of new furniture items. Unsurprisingly, however, the 12 original wards and their subdivisions were insufficient to satisfy the demand in most servers, with most, if not all plots taken within minutes of the server becoming available to play. Yoshida, however, has personally stated that patch 4.2 will see additional wards being added, and further adjustments will be made to ensure players will have a fair chance at scoring their own plot. But in the meantime, players can find Hildibrand's companion in crime, Nashu, just outside Kugane's hostelry, searching for the man himself after his disappearance in Heavensward. At the Ruby Sea, the KOJIN have now made themselves available as Stormblood's first Beast Tribe players can gain reputation with. By completing their daily quests, players will gain access to unique rewards, including crafting materials, minions, and mounts. Certain quests, however, will require you to travel to more desolate corners of the Ruby Sea, and to this end, you might find it useful to take advantage of the newly added Ferry Skipper in Nonokoro, who will instantly teleport you to the opposite side of the map. The KOJIN's newest currency, as well as all other Beast Tribe currencies, have been transferred over to the new currency tab, and will no longer take up inventory space. Your Grand Company squadron members can now be taken with you to a select number of dungeons in the new command missions. Players may issue commands and control the group throughout the duty, and by completing at least 10 command missions, a handful of new, persistent emotes will be unlocked. In addition, further emotes can be found for purchase at your Grand Company vendor, namely Attention and At Ease, for a bittersweet 40,000 seals each. Those looking to master their jumping skills now have access to a new set of sightseeing log locations, and some of them can be fairly treacherous. Should you manage to complete the task, the Joyous Painter will be waiting in Idleshire with a brand new set of paintings available for purchase. Keen treasure hunters may now experience even deeper levels inside the canals of Uznair. Well, should favor fortune them in their descent. The rewards, however, are nothing to scoff at, with goodies exceeding 1 million in cold gil, well worth the trouble if you find a brave set of companions to travel with. In addition to all this new content, several quality of life changes and new items were added to the game. Among them, the most notable is perhaps the new targeting mode. Tired of tab targeting to patrolling enemies on the opposite side of the dungeon? Try switching to the new cone mode, which now takes camera depth into account when switching between targets. Crafters and gatherers rejoice as a new set of gear can be crafted and shared across all relevant professions. The new recipes are, however, fairly difficult to craft, and in addition to being specialty locked, it may take a handful of coin to commission your own. Other notable mentions include a new Recruit a Friend mount, a new Gold Saucer mount, a new Crafted mount, new Ixion token items, and for those sitting at the tombstone cap, why not purchase a new song for the low price of 1600 tomestones of Verity? And lastly, you may have noticed a few announcements missing in this content overview. Worry not. The Unending Coil of Bahamut is scheduled for release in patch 4.11, and the new PvP content, Rival Wings, is due to release in patch 4.15. But until then, enjoy the content, and I hope to see you next time.